ino-optimize nila the use of their resources. The minimum quantity that they can do that, of course, considering quality issues, the better. No? One example is the cartons, no, used in packaging their products. They made it more compact, smaller, so that they would use less raw materials, no? And we know cartons, the papers, come from trees, so they don't have to cut trees or import from other countries who are making this for them. And that is environmental sustainability. In the Philippines, I think a lot of companies, no, especially the multinational ones, are also venturing into this. Of course, it's also a cost-saving initiative on their part. Aside from it's an environmental program, it boils down to, saving cost also. And one example is how Zuelig Pharma rationalized its packaging materials. Chris, would you like to tell something about this?
Like for example, before we used to have very big cartons. Tapos, we are also consolidating orders from different principals. So, para makatipid ang mga principals, we have more than 80 principals. All we're carrying the branded products. So, para makatipid sila, instead of them building up their own warehouses, we warehouse their goods and distribute it nationwide. But the problem is, yung packaging na ginagamit ko namin before. Ang laki nung ginagastos namin o using cartons, tapos minsan, nag-delivery namin, isa lang ho ang order. So, just imagine the air void, no, na dapat namin punan para hindi masira yung produkto during transport. So, what we did was rationalize our orders and we minimize the number of type of packages or generic cartons that we use, and we shifted. At the time, hindi po bawal yung plastic. Pero ngayon, it's another challenge for us that the plastic is pinagbabawal na ho. But we're looking into some technology about plastic na hindi lang biodegradable, kundi compostable na. Meron akong ganun. We heard from our colleagues from other ASEAN countries during dun sa visit natin sa Japan. So maganda rin ho na meron akong compostable plastic. I'm not sure though if nakarating na ho yung technology sa Philippines. I just had some discussion with San Miguel Yamamura Packaging, and they're also looking into this technology. So maganda ho yan, compostable plastic. So pag tinapon, hindi na ho problema. Mag-decompose na siya by itself. So, ano mo nangyari? Because we rationalize our products, nabawasan mo yung truck na umaalis. Kasi from dati karton, marami, isang paleta. Ngayon, pwede na namin i-compress sa isang plastic crate, several orders na plastic bags, sando bags. So, dahil nakukompress na namin yung orders, from 20 trucks, naging 2 truck na lang. Ganun no ang nabawas namin sa emission, indirectly, without planning for it, nakatulong mo kami sa environment. Nabawasan na yung packaging expense pati, nagkaroon ng savings. Yung company, because of just collaborating, yung napupuho kami sama-sama with our other partners to look at the packaging, even our suppliers. So, malaking bagay ang collaboration. Also, Janji would like to discuss model shifts as well.
So in Japan, we were able to visit a number of distribution centers po, no? And maybe it's around 4. And this is one of their fuel efficiency programs, no? And on top of that is the use of hybrid cars. For example, is the Prius. Alam niyo po, ang Prius is only consuming or can have a fuel efficiency of as much as 25.5 kilometer per liter. So, sa Philippines, I think hindi pa ito masyadong visible right now. But Toyota, Motor Philippines is, I think, trying to venture and trying to bring this type of hybrid car in the Philippines. But in Japan, all salespeople, almost all salespeople, are using Prius because it's very, very fuel efficient. Of course, they have this joint transport and modal shift, and they were able to compute their carbon emission reduction. Like for example, if they would be using truck-to-train mode, they would reduce about 1/8 of the previous CO2 emission. Same with truck-to-ship, they would have 1/4 reduction in their emission and around 33.28% cost reduction. And to tell you, honestly, in Japan, there's this allocated train, a bullet train, only for cargos, which travel during the night. So in that sense, they don't have to shift, from one mode to another, but they would have to sometimes solely allocate one trip of a train, just for cargos. And that is very, very efficient. Well, in the Philippine setting, I think a lot of tracking services and transport companies are also into promoting fuel efficiency. Sometimes nga lang, they don't realize them, Just for example, the backhauling, the co-loading as allowed by the customers, the dedicated return trips, the clustering of customers, optimizing truckload capacity, and of course, the roll-on, roll-off. We didn't know that these are really contributors to promoting fuel efficiency. Especially that the logistics industry is consuming really high amounts of fuel. As I've said, 80% of the imported fuels are usually consumed by the transport industry. So for the energy savings initiatives in Japan, number one is the use of renewable energy, specifically the solar power. This is an emerging technology in the Philippines, but in Japan, they've been utilizing this power or this source of energy for like 10 or maybe 15 years ago. And when we were doing our research, hindi na po kami lumayo in the Philippines because, I come from fast logistics po, and we usually customize the warehouses in response to the needs of our customers. We build them for them. Okay? We build the warehouses or the distribution centers for our customers according to their specifications, And most of the time, we recommend and agree with them some initiatives on how to conserve energy. And in one of our distribution centers in the south, in Laguna po, we have installed solar absorption air conditioners, which assure us about 30% decrease in electrical consumption. Also, in one of our sites in Cagayan de Oro, we have installed a distribution center which utilizes sidelights or the natural daylight. So, the warehouse was designed with sidelights to optimize the natural lights being provided by the sun during the daytime. And of course, our recent project down south in South Luzon is the installation of solar tube daylight system, which assure us of around 50% savings in electrical consumption. So the solar power is really not new in the Philippines, although it's kind of expensive right now, but I think the return is somewhat faster. In one of our DCs, I think the rate of return is around 1.5 years. And I think that's a great savings not only for us, but to our customer.
Siguro just to add up, itong technology, what solar tube is. It's like, alam niyo yung fiber optic na sa Christmas, na may ilaw, tapos pumapalik yung sa dulo. Di ba? It's like that, na yung kabilang side na sa araw, when it's daylight, tapos you don't have to turn on the lights inside the warehouse. So, walang kuryente, no? So, mini-mirror nila, tapos pag-ilawin sa loob. It's that concept. Yun po yun.
Of course, narinig niyo na po siguro yung mga LED lighting systems, no? Which assure around 40 to 50% savings in electrical consumption. A lot of distribution centers in Japan is already utilizing such technology. Of course, in the Philippines, we have also a number of warehouses and distribution centers around the Philippines who use this type of technology. I think a number of suppliers are outside, no? They have their booths outside. So you may check. Really, we have proven this in Fast Logistics, and we gathered around 40 to 40% reduction in our electrical consumption. But you know, the investment is really high. But I think, as I've said, the rate of return is really shorter. No, it's around 1.5 years to 2 years.
We've also come across with some technology going beyond LED. You can combine this technology with other technologies such as motion detection. Like if you don't need the lights, if there's no personnel inside, it will turn off by itself. And pagka naka-detect na movement, it will turn on. This technology can coincide very much well with the LEDs. Because mainly, wala tayong problema doon sa on and off ng LEDs. Unlike mga metal halide lamps, di ba? Pag nagmatay, hintay ka ng mga, minsan 15 minutes, papalamigin muna, or mercury lamps bago umilaw. This, yung combination of motion detection, if you're in a warehouse, for example, pag wala man movements, wala kang magpipik, it can turn off by itself. And going beyond, there are some technologies na yung uso na po yung mga Wi-Fi. So, kung gusto nyo i-monitor yung inyong consumption ng ilaw, hindi nyo na kailangan pumunta sa metro. Ito, for example, this technology here, it's already here in the Philippines. I would not advertise yung but it's already here, na from your computer, you can also already see and compute how much kilowatt hour na kukonsume ng ilaw nyo without you having to install meters. Kasi meron na siyang sariling Wi-Fi nagsisend sa computer ng how much kilowatt hour you spend yan. So, there's this technology that you can already use. So, what are the practices? No? We also have what we call the pallet pooling system.
Okay, in Japan, the usual practice in Japan is that they have this dedicated Japan pallet rental company. So, basically,